So, what price would you pay for greatness? I mean, really pay. Today, we're diving into a story that asks that very question, and it takes us deep into the shadows of ambition and its pretty chilling consequences. Let's get into the world of The Soul Reader. Okay, so this single line, it's from our main character's mother. And honestly, it's the key that just unlocks this entire story. It's not just, a belief she has. It's almost like a prophecy or even a permission slip for him to walk a really dangerous path. It sets up the whole conflict perfectly. You've got the quiet comfort of safety on one side, and on the other, this relentless pull of some unknown destiny. Right, so who is this man who's supposedly not made for safety? Well, let's meet him. His name is John Edward Morgan, and when we find him, he's in the middle of this quiet, internal rebellion, basically turning his back on a life that was all neatly planned out for him since day one. And you gotta understand, this wasn't some snap decision he made overnight. Nope, this was a slow burn, a long, simmering dissatisfaction. He's just walked away from a totally secure job at a counting house, a future his father literally built for him. But this is so much more than just a career change. It's about him taking the script for his life, the one someone else wrote, and just tearing it to pieces. And right here, you can see the two forces that are just tearing him apart. You've got his father's worldview on one side. A steady life is a good life. Practical, respectable, safe. But then on the other side, you have his mother's intuition, this belief that he has a restless spirit that safety could just never contain. And poor John, he is caught right in the middle of that crossfire. So this restlessness, it just pushes him out the door and into this fog-drenched Manhattan night. And it's in this weird in-between space, where everything feels hazy and reality itself is kind of uncertain, that he stumbles across something that just plain shouldn't be there. The story does such a great job building this incredible, mysterious atmosphere. It's not just that he, sees a shop. It's that reality itself seems to be bending to let this shop exist. It literally materializes in a spot that he knows should be empty, just appearing out of the swirling fog. And then he sees the name right there on a dull brass sign, Vestiges. Now, the word vestige means like a trace of something that's disappearing or doesn't exist anymore. I mean, come on. That is the perfect name for a place that feels like it's balanced right on the very edge of reality. So he goes inside, and the strangeness just ramps up. He has this exchange with the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper's reply, "You were not meant to." Oh man, it just sends a chill down your spine. This isn't just weird small talk. This is a flat-out declaration of something supernatural going on. It's clear John didn't find the shop by accident. He was chosen. All right, so the shopkeeper then shows John this object, which is really the focal point of the whole story. It's a clouded, leaded glass sphere. And let me tell you, this is not just some trinket. It's an instrument of knowledge, and it has some very, very specific rules. Now, it's really important to get what this sphere isn't. It's not a crystal ball. It's not going to show you all the possible futures you could have. No. It only shows you the direct, unchangeable consequences of choices you have already made. Think of it like a mirror that reflects the road you're already on, not a map showing you all the different roads you could take. And the second his fingers close around that sphere, everything changes. There's no flash of light, no big boom, nothing like that. But John feels it, instantly. A line has just been crossed. He's just stepped onto a path, and there is absolutely no turning back. And this is where we hit the story's climax. John gets back to his apartment, and he finally uses the sphere. And what he sees, it's just this dizzying flash of his own future, a moment of his greatest triumph, immediately followed by the most absolute horror you can imagine. What's wild is that the vision is grounded by a specific date. This pulls it out of the realm of, some vague dream and makes it something concrete and totally unavoidable. This isn't just a possibility, it's an appointment. The vision just unfolds with this brutal speed. First, you get the triumph. He sees himself older, successful, admired, powerful, showing off some kind of impossible gift. He can feel the validation he's wanted his entire life. But then, bam, in an instant, a total collapse. Right at his absolute peak, his body betrays him. And that's when the real horror kicks in. He's trapped. His mind is perfectly aware, but his body has become a prison of flesh that he can't control. Just think about that for a second. This is the first layer of the terror. He's not unconscious. He hasn't faded away. His mind is as sharp and clear as it's ever been, totally aware of everything happening around him. And this is the central horror of it all. He can think, he can feel, he can see and hear everything around him, but he can't move. He can't speak. He can't do anything to signal that he's still in there. His own body has become his tomb. And just when you think it cannot possibly get any worse, we get to the final terrible moment of the vision. He watches as the doctor leans over him and with complete professional certainty pronounces him dead. So he's conscious, he's aware, and he's about to be dissected by a man who is totally convinced he's just a corpse. The vision ends with the image of that doctor saw coming down. So John rips his hands away from the sphere, and he's suddenly back in his basement apartment, just gasping for air. But the vision, it isn't gone. It's seared into his brain. He now carries this terrible knowledge. He has seen the price of his ambition, clear as day. So this leaves him and us with a huge question. He's seen the cost. He knows the horrific final act. So what does he do? Does he turn back? Does he finally choose that safe life after all? Well, his first instinct is just pure self-preservation. Of course it is. He wants to put the sphere away, reject the whole thing, and just run. But that memory of the triumph, the feeling of that respect and power, it's this intoxicating lure that he just can't ignore. And so, with his eyes wide open to the consequences, he makes his choice. He accepts the deal. And this, right here, is the really twisted core of the story. The vision didn't scare him off. In fact, you could argue the horror actually validated his ambition. It proved to him that greatness was truly his destiny. Knowing the terrible price didn't make him want it less. It sharpened his desire into a weapon. And so the story leaves us with this final, incredibly chilling image. John looks into the sphere one last time, and he sees the faint outline of a blade, just suspended in the darkness, almost like it's waiting for him. He has seen his end. And instead of running from it, he has made the conscious choice to walk straight towards it. And the question that leaves us with is, what kind of ambition is so powerful that even the certainty of a horrific end becomes an acceptable price to pay?